Now, digging the trench can be a fairly daunting experience. It took a long time. So you can see that string there. That lines up with the garage floor. There is a gradual slope from here down to the street. You can see it down there. And what we're doing now today is we're going to measure down from that string. The top of the pipe has to be 75 mil or more below the string. So we're going down to 80, 85, so that we can put some sand down, put the twin wall casing. I've got some blue twin wall casing which I'll be running on top of the sand, and then pulling the 25mm water mains, the plastic variety water mains, through the conduit. So that's where we're at. There's a lot more work to be done, particularly at this end. So that's what I'm going to do now, is to remove that concrete. I drilled those two holes with a core drill. Luckily the cement actually wasn't too deep. It's probably 5 centimeters. You can probably see it there. Doesn't go down too far anyway, and it's sitting on some hardcore. So I'm going to break that out, and then we're going to dig the soil out. Now you might be wondering how I tunneled from there to here, and that was by making this device you see standing there. It's got a screw on the bottom. I got that from Amazon. It's basically designed to put into electric drill and drill some holes for when you're potting plants, but it actually did the job. I was quite impressed with it. It did manage to dig through the soil. As long as you do a little bit at a time, don't go too fast with the drill, and then drag it back out of the hole, you can clear the soil. So I extended it because it isn't that long. It actually only comes to here. That's the length of it, and all this is just extension, so I can get into the hole. I dug down here about 30 centimeters. Now the footings of the wall sticks out, so I'm kind of coming up just by the top of the footings there, and I'm down about 85, 90 here. It's just the way it came out. It just, as I was drilling, it just sort of kept going down, so it's a bit deeper here than it is outside there. So we're going to break that out and then do a slope from the bottom of that hole down to the bottom of that hole, so I can bring the pipe in and sort of tip it on its side, bring it up to the wall, and then bend it up and secure it to the wall. And then I'm going to go copper, 22mm 3/4 inch copper all the way. Well, at this point we managed to pull this piece of cord through a plastic pipe. So I put it through a plastic pipe, pushed the pipe in the hole on the other side, and then I was able to fish this out using this grabber. And now I've tied it to the chain. We're going to pull the cord, take the chain back through to outside there. And what we'll be doing with this chain is moving it backwards and forwards, try to reshape the soil so that when I push the twin wall through, it'll have a nice curve up to this point here. At the moment this hole here goes straight down, and the one coming in from out there comes across here and meets it at 90 degrees. There's no way that the twin wall can come along here and bend sharply and come up. It won't work that way. So by pulling the chain backwards and forwards, me pulling up at this side and Helen pulling down at the bottom of the hole on the other side, we will in effect curve the top of where the two channels meet, and that will sort of take in a nice gradual curve, and I'll have to get all the soil out after that, and then the twin wall should be able to follow that curve, come up to this point and then sort of bend over, so it'll be curved up this way and then over. So we've put the twin wall in, and it's laying in the bottom of the trench there temporarily. I'm going to put some sand under that later. You can see it going through there. Managed to pull it up over there, and that will lay back nicely against the wall. I'll show you that later. What I ended up doing was I cut a short length of about 3 meters. Fed that through from the outside to the hole here, and then by kind of pulling it backwards and forwards, I had Helen on the outside was pulling it her way, and I was pulling it up in this area. It managed to sort of cut away some of the soil to give it a gentle bend, a little bit more of a gentle bend. If you've got lots of rocks and things, that might not work, but it did work in this particular case. So we haven't got any tight bends, so hopefully we can get the plastic water mains pipe through it. And this, and what I did is I coupled the long length to the short length here, and was able to use the short length, which is that bit there, to pull the long length through the hole and up through here. So when I take this apart, we'll have just the length that we're needed. When I take this apart, it's just done with duct tape and the plastic coupling. Then I have exactly what I need, and that will be pushed back against the wall and fixed over there. There's still the string inside it. I'm going to go and buy some heavy duty string, which I'm going to attach to the water main pipe, and I'm going to pull it from the other end all the way down, and then the most difficult bit will be here where it bends about a bit, and trying to get it up through here. So I'm glad to say I managed to pull the pipe through the conduit. There it is. It's fantastic. I was concerned. I wasn't sure how difficult that was going to be, but with somebody pushing at the other end and me pulling, it came out fine. So what I did here is I just taped a piece of cord to the pipe all the way down to here, and then I doubled back with the same piece of cord like that and taped that. I started taking the tape off, but so basically you've got so it's kind of fixed in 2 ways, and that worked great. No trouble at all. It didn't come loose, didn't rip. It all came through absolutely splendidly and surprisingly easy. This is the first time I've done it, and this water pipe is really quite stiff, but first thing we did is we unrolled it into the garden, laid it flat, as flat as we could, and it seemed to take to its new position within sort of 45 minutes or so, and then we just pushed it through, pushed and pulled. So that's fantastic. We didn't go out onto the street to do this. We took the conduit into the garden, did it that way, just so we wouldn't be out on the street. We didn't want 46 feet of the mains water pipe lying out there on the road. So we went this way, and it didn't create any problems. It went through there, down there, through the hole there, and did the 90 degree and came up, and it was fine. So really pleased with that. Well, it's 5 o'clock now. Spent most of the day on this. You can see the pipe is in. Put it on a bed of sand. It's about 8 to 10 centimeters, 80 to 100 mil, and then I ran out of sand, but I'll do that tomorrow. So that's almost ready. I just wrapped that up on the fence there, quite a bit extra because they're going to have to connect it to the meter, so I didn't want them to be short. 50 meter roll, and we used about 14 meters, so there's plenty extra. At this point I'm insulating the pipe here. Now I'm using something I bought on eBay. It has a 25mm hole, and it's 15 on either side, so basically 25 and 30 is 55. The inside diameter of this is 53, so it's a little bit wider, but it will obviously crush up. And I won't say it was easy to fit it, but what I did is I pulled this pipe out, kind covered it with this, which I then taped with some duct tape just to compress it slightly, and then holding both the insulation and the pipe, used the pipe to sort of ram it down, and then pulled the pipe out, put more tape around it, and then pushed it back in again. So basically I was using the pipe to ram it down into the pipe. So I measured enough that it would go all the way down to the bottom. The other thing I forgot to mention is I did use a bit of silicone when I was pushing the insulation inside the pipe. That seemed to help. So at the moment I've got my 2 pipe clips for the blue pipe. I've marked out on the wall the holes for the stainless steel brackets, which I've got to see on the floor there. I've now insulated it. Over here I have a cap which I bought on eBay. I just looked around until I found something that was the right dimensions. This has the right internal dimension, and there's just enough of an overlip for the top that it won't fall inside. I then took a 25mm toothed hole saw, which I put in the drill press up there, and turned this upside down on a piece of wood, and I drilled the hole in there. And you see that's slightly off center, so that enables the pipe to get further back towards the wall. I made another one there, which is for the street side. When the guys come to fit it, they've got a plug to plug it in the end of this plastic. They don't actually provide any sort of plugs like for the plastic. Nothing that you can buy commercially that I'm aware of. I've looked on the sites that sell this Conduit, this twin wall stuff, and that sell other plumbing supplies like the pipe. Nobody seems to have an answer to that. So I know it's got to be sealed up because I don't want mice and rodents and things getting in, so I've done the best I can there, and I hope that that will be sufficient. You can see there the pipe disappears down into the floor all the way to the bottom there. You can just sort of see it turning to the left right at the bottom, and then it goes out to the street. So I'm pretty pleased with it. It looks nice and neat. Going a bit closer so you can see how everything worked out. I set the tap slightly to the side, and it's comfortable there. I can get my hand in and turn it without banging against the wall. Well, it's good news. Yesterday a chap called Peter Bird came to inspect the pipe, and he said it was really good. He thought it was a good way to do it. Hadn't seen it that much, but he thought it was fine, no problem there. He liked the idea it was easily accessible. He signed it off, and I'll show you the piece of paper that he left. It says, "I have raised a job for our team to check at the meter on our side to see if lead coming into the chamber. If so, to relay new pipe going back to the main to get rid of all lead pipe. If not, then to just replace the old chamber with a new one and connect up your new supply pipe. They should give you a date so you can be there to connect your end at the same time." And then they've got a time scale of 20 days, signed Peter Bird. So basically what he said is they'll try to arrange a team to come out and do the connection on the street, remove the old lead, if there is in fact lead, running back to the main, and replace it with the new plastic pipe, similar to the one that I used. Okay, so the inspector has cleared this, everything is good. He's happy with the work, so I'm going to fill this hole with some ballast. I've got some ballast here from Travis Perkins, and a couple more bags outside, but that's what I'm going to use. I think it will flow around the pipe nicely.
The last part of that will be concrete. I'll just tidy that up.
Well, the last stage of this video is to fill the trench in, which you can see I've done now. You can see the line that was left by the whacker plate. So when we did this, I filled it up. My partner and I overfilled it actually, like a mound on the top. And then I went along with the whacker plate and smashed it down. It took quite a few passes to compact it, but that should stop it from sinking later. And then the last thing I did is I built this box here. Now that goes down to the bottom of the trench where the pipe turns and comes up. And at the bottom of it, on this piece that's facing you there, at the bottom I cut the sort of little archway so it slips over the pipe, and at the top I've cut in that handle grip basically. So what this enables me to do is to carry on laying the type 1 and doing everything that I need to do. And on the front, by the way, I filled the back end to stop the hedgehogs from falling in, because we do have a lot of hedgehogs around here. So I can carry on putting the type 1 in, and when they come to fit the pipe, that can be pulled out. They'll still have access to the pipe. It should be a little bit of room there to move it from side to side, and then they can carry on digging on the pavement side, and then just fold this down, you know, to the direction it needs to go. But that'll be up to the water board. So that's basically it. So that's the installation of the mains water supply. Well, hello again. I thought before I end this video I'd show you how I put the copper in. So it started off with this sort of triple 90-degree bend, so it kind of goes up and round and like that, trying to get as much flow as I can from the mains. So that runs all the way down to there at a slight incline. It's a couple of inches from one side to the other. I've installed a drain cock there, so that can be undone from the bottom and drain the whole system through there, which is pretty good. And then it pops through into the wall. You can see I've run it through a plastic pipe so that there's no, the pipe doesn't touch the cement, which I understand can cause corrosion. And then I've got 5 meters of this insulation, which I'm going to put on next. Well, that's the final look. I've insulated it all the way along. So the idea for that is that it will keep the water cold in the summer and should stop it from freezing in the winter. When they come and connect this pipe to the water main and to the meter, then I shall just check the places where I have joints in the copper pipe. I know where they are. I'll just take off the insulation and just double check there's no leaks. So you can see the pump there with the new pipe coming through the wall. At the bottom there is the pipe work that I've put together. What that will do is connect the new pipe coming through to the bottom of the pump. It will replace the piece that you see there, and the bit standing up here will go across at the back and connect over there. Currently that piece at the back there is the main supply coming in off the street. That's being replaced by the new one, and what the new one will do is it will also feed that pipe, which will go back outside, and that's connected to the outdoor tap. It also runs through that shut-off valve there. So if you want to cut the outside tap off or turn it off to isolate it from the rest of the house, if we go on holiday for example, we don't want to shut the whole system down, we can just close that stopcock, isolate the tap. Other than that, everything else works the way it should. The water comes in through the pump, up through the top, and goes around the rest of the house. So we're just waiting now for the work to be done in the front. The new pipe work connected to the meter, and then going across the road to the main supply. Hopefully get rid of all the lead. The water pressure will be much better, and potentially we won't need the pump anymore, but we'll see how that works out. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've seen how I've tackled these problems. I hope it's of some help to somebody, and if you've got this far, well done, congratulations, and please subscribe. We'll see you at the next video. Bye now, keep safe.